That's right, babe. That's right, babe. Yeah. That's right, babe.
What's good to all my cousins? Period. I'm back, but we're doing something new. So this is my first time doing a story time. So we're bringing something new to the table, period. Because you know we always gonna bring something new. Okay, so I posted on my Instagram, what should I do? Like, what videos do y'all want to see from me? And I kept getting story time, story time, story time. And I'm like, okay, what story can I tell? Like, I need something juicy, something good to give y'all. Like, and I just had to think in my head, like, what story can I really tell somebody that's like really interested? This story is to the point where I had to ask permission. I had to ask permission from my mom. Can I tell this story? And she said yes, but to make sure I tell y'all like exactly how it went. Period. Pay attention. Thank you. Thank you. And I will not be doing the giveaway winner in this video because I'm having communication problems with one of the companies. Okay, so I'm explaining it like this. So basically, years ago, we had moved from LA to the Valley. Okay, so basically we had neighbors. We were super close to our neighbors. Like, my mom and my neighbor was best friends. So they ended up coming up with a plan for us to move out of that neighborhood into the Valley, where it's nice out there, honestly. Like, it's nice out there. They ended up coming up with a plan for us to be able to move. My mom and her family and my family, we ended up moving to the Valley. I remember, like, the first day we moved out there, like, it was like so hot. It was fun. It was amazing moving out there because we never really got to play outside, but basically our whole childhood started out there. Like, we got to play with the neighbors. It was just like a movie, like bomb, beautiful. Like, everybody in the neighborhood was friends. Like, we was all friends with the neighbors because all the neighbors had kids. Like, everybody knew each other. Like, we knew everybody who lived in our street. Like, across the street we knew who lived there, next door we know who lived there. Like, we all knew each other. When we moved out there, the neighbors that we moved with, their house was at the beginning of the street. Our house was all the way at the end. So we moved together, and we moved on the same block, but we didn't live next to each other. We just lived on the ends of the streets. We was close. Like, that family, our family was close. Like, we was super close. We would throw barbecues, parties, whatever. We would always be at each other's house, chilling or whatever. It was like family, period. Okay, so one summer, the neighbors who we moved out to the Valley with, they invited some family members to stay with them or whatever. So they invited some family members to stay with them for the summertime or whatever. And we met them. We liked them. They wasn't our age. They was around the age of my big sister and my cousin. And mind you, it was summertime, so we have some family staying over with us too. They had some cousins come stay with them for the summertime, and we had our cousins stay with us for the summertime too. We met their family members who bring to stay with them. They met ours too. So it was still the same. Like, we all was like getting along, hanging out and all that stuff. So they had some of the people who they bring to stay with them, they had a girl to come with them, and it was a boy. They was brother and sister. I really don't remember their names. They had a brother and sister. They was around, I'm gonna say, they was around 14, 15 at the least. And my sister and my brother, my older ones, they was around that age too. Me, my brother and my little sister, we was young. Like, we was small, elementary school type. Like, we was small, but we was still hanging out. We're close. Like, family was close, so we all just hang out and stuff. So the brother of the two cousins that the other family bring, he was super playful with us. Like, remember him, like, we used to let them come over or whatever. He used to be play fighting with me and my little sister and my little brother. He would play fight with us. I remember, like, in our living room, we would be play fighting with him. We play fight with him outside and stuff. He was like super playful with us. Super nice. We loved him, honestly. Like, we loved playing with him. I remember one day, one day we was having a day where we was all hanging out. We was hanging out in the daytime outside, and then we ended up going inside hanging out, and we was in the living room. We was play fighting with him. The little ones, me, my little sister, and my little brother, we was play fighting with the brother. I think we ended up having a dance off that day too. I think we had a dance off that day. Like, everybody was like dancing off or whatever. Like, we was really just having fun this day. Like, it was a really fun day. It was nighttime, so it's like, okay, everybody gotta go home now. The brother and the sister ended up having to go home because they don't live with us. They had to go to the people whose house they were staying at, which was the people we moved to the valley with. So they went home or whatever. Okay, so it's to the point where everybody sleep. Everybody in the world should be sleeping right now. It's like sleep time, like past sleep time. It's like dead sleep time. And mind you, we was new, like we was still new to out there, so we didn't have that much furniture. So me, my little sister, and my little brother, we was sleeping in my mom's room because I don't know why, we just used to sleep in her room. I guess we was too scared to sleep in ours. And my cousin, okay, it was us three in my mom's room. I think my mom was sleeping in there with us too. We was sleeping on the floor. And then in the other room, it was my sister, my two older sisters, and then my cousin that was a girl. She was sleeping in the room with them. And then we had another room where my brothers was sleeping, and then my boy cousin was sleeping in there with them. So it was all of us sleeping, period. It was like spread it out, you know. Part of it is like our cousins at our house, their cousins at their house. So just so you understand, we sleep or whatever. It's dead. It's like past midnight. My mom, I guess, we would sleep, so I didn't know. We would sleep. The little ones, we would sleep. We was all, mind you, we would sleep like next to each other, like laid out next to each other. It was me, my little sister, my little brother. We sleep laid out next to each other. Okay, so I guess my mom, she woke up in the middle of the night because she heard something or whatever. She's a light sleeper. I think that's where I get it from, because I'm a very light sleeper now. I think I got it from her. So I guess she was hearing stuff, so she woke up. She woke up and turned on the lights, and I guess she like was hearing like somebody like leaving the house. So she turned on the lights. When she turned on the lights, she seen a pair of shorts. Literally laying in front of our heads where the little ones were sleeping. It was a pair of shorts laying in front of our heads, the shoes next to the shorts, and I don't know if it was the shirt too, but it was like, I remember these shorts though. I remember these shorts because we'll get into that. After she seen that, she turned on all the lights. She went to my she went in the room where my older sisters and my cousin was sleeping. She woke everybody up. She like somebody breaking in the house. So they all getting up and they going to look around. They looking around or whatever. I'm pretty sure I was woke by now. Okay, so this is how we figured out who it was. The shorts that was laying right over our heads where we were sleeping, the little ones where we were sleeping, the shorts was laid right in front of our heads. Like perfectly lined up, like shorts, shoes, right in front of our heads. This is how we knew who it was. The shorts was the same shorts that the boy was wearing who was playing with us. The one who was playing with us, the one who the neighbors brought to stay with them for the summertime. Those was the same shorts he had on that same day. Same shorts, because it's not like, oh, how you know these was his shorts? We know those was his shorts because they had like a design. I think they was Rockaware shorts. They had the same design and everything. So we know those was his shorts and his shoes. So by that time, when we figure out like, oh, like what? Our mom made the little ones stay home. They made us stay home while they was going to the neighbor's house. Not the neighbors, but the people who we moved out there with. They was, all the older ones was like headed like towards their house, like, okay, like what's going on? So they was like on their way there. Our mom made the little ones stay home with somebody. I don't remember who she made us stay home with, but we had to stay home while they left. So from what I was told, they went to their house, and when they got there, the boy was wearing a whole different outfit. He had on gray sweats or whatever. Like, he changed his outfit. Like, go over there loud, like, mad, like, what the cursing him out, like, what is he doing breaking in our house and stuff. And the neighbors, they was confused. They didn't know. Well, my mom and my sister and my cousins was going off on him. They didn't know why, because they had no clue he did this. They didn't know what's going on, but my mom was really going off. Like, she was mad. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you breaking in our house? Like, why is your pants in front of my kid's head? Like, what is going on? So they going off or whatever. This boy, he had the nerve to call my mom out her name, like, making it seem like, oh, he don't know what she talking about. She talking crazy. So that's when my big brother and my cousin got mad. I think my cousin grabbed a knife trying to, like, stab him, but they was holding him back. My brother was so mad trying to get towards him, he actually fell into their wall and put a hole in their wall. Like, it was really going down. More of the story, he was lying. He wasn't trying to tell the truth. Like, he was really lying. Like, swearing it wasn't him. It's just magically the same shorts you had on this earlier in our house over our head. Your shoes. Like, come on now. So somebody ended up calling the police or whatever. I don't know what the police did. I don't know what they talked about. Little ones had to stay home. I don't know, but I guess the police ended up telling them, like, just make him go back to LA. He needs to leave. Because he was young. He was about 15 or 14. I guess they didn't want to arrest him or whatever. And we just like, all right, whatever. As long as he's out of our sight, as long as he's gone, we're good. Like, he's gone. We don't care, even though it was like, what? Him and his sister had to go back to LA. After that, we was still cool with the neighbors because they didn't know. They didn't understand. Like, why would he do that? Like, so it's not like, oh, we can hold a grudge towards them because they didn't know. They didn't know. This boy broke in our house. They didn't know. They didn't understand why he did that. More of the story, we still cool with them because we was so close. Like, we wasn't gonna let that break us up as a family. Anyways, after that, years passed on. We ended up moving to a bigger house than that in the valley. Living our lives. Neighbors, we moved out there. They stayed on that street. Still live there. And then a few years after that, my family eventually ended up moving back to LA. Now, in the house that we live in now. So, living our lives, basically. Living our lives. Just moving on. Living our lives, moving on. Forgot about that. Tell me why. I'll say about 2 months ago. Mind you, years have passed by since that situation. Years. People done grew up. I'm big now. We all grew up. My sister's in her 20s now. My brother's in his 20s now. Everybody's growing up. I'm big now. Me, my little sister, and my little brother, we're big now. We're older now. We're not little babies anymore. Everybody's just growing up, living our lives. Mind you, 2 months ago, one day I'm laying in my bed, just chilling like always. My sister get home from work one day. My older sister, she get home from work one day. She come in the room. She like, Sarah, you remember that boy who had broken our house that one day? I'm like, yeah, what about him? Like, what are you bringing that up for? So she tells me she on Facebook, going through like our neighbors' Facebook, because I guess she had them on Facebook or whatever. Nobody has been in contact with them in a long time. So you remember how I told you it was the brother and the sister who had came out there with the neighbors? The sister was under a post that was made. She had tagged my sister, I guess, and was like, oh, how you been? Blah, blah, blah. How you been? Blah, blah, blah. And my sister like, good. She asked her how she been or whatever. The other family members who was on the post, like, it was more people on the post. They was like asking everybody, like everybody was just catching up on Facebook or whatever. After asking the sister like how her brother doing, she like, oh, y'all haven't heard, and everybody like, huh? Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? She like,
just look his name up.
So my sister looks his name up. First thing that pops up is a mugshot. A story on the news saying that he had recently broke into this lady's house in the middle of the night, and he tried to
rape her.
And mind you, he's a grown man now. He's tried to rape this lady. And I guess, according to the report, like, he was trying to, but she was fighting him off, and he ended up chopping some of her fingers off, and it was crazy. But she ended up being able to fight him off, ended up being able to call the police. He got arrested. He's now in jail. And it's crazy, like, when Princess told me that, I'm like, Princess is my sister's name, that I'm like, just thinking about, like, reversing, thinking about everything that happened, like that whole night that happened. I'm like,
Really?
like, is this what he really got arrested for? And then this, it's like, I don't know. It's like, how do you supposed to feel about that? Like, how, I just didn't know how to feel. Like, honestly, that whole day when she told me that, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I could not stop thinking about it. It was to the point where I literally looked his name up. Like, I had to see this man. Like, I looked him up, I seen his face, and I'm like, it's crazy because we really liked it, this boy. Like, he used to play fight with us, like, and then he broke in our house in the middle of the night, shorts in front of our heads while we're asleep. Like, it's just like a whole bunch of thoughts going through my head. Like, when she told me that, it's like, really? Like, it's like, I don't know what to think. I still don't know what to think. Like, I don't know what to think. I don't want to think about it. It's like, I just thank God. That my mom woke us up. My mom woke up that day, whatever. I'm just happy that she woke up that day. It's too much. It's creepy. Like, it still creeps me out. Creepy. And I honestly feel like the neighbors who we moved out there with, how they was like acting like, oh, they didn't know why. They probably really didn't know that he was like that, like, because he was young. I guess they didn't know he was like that. But I just feel like, honestly, they really owe my mom an apology because he really disrespected her for no reason. And it turns out you were a weirdo. You were a creep. So that's just how I feel. And it's... y'all be safe because it's really creeps out in this world. It's really creepy people in this world. So that's all for today. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that situation, and stay tuned for more. I will be giving y'all more story times if y'all want that. Whatever y'all want, I'm gonna be giving it to y'all. So mess with me, subscribe.
That's right, babe. That's right, babe. Yeah. That's right, babe.